Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. It's another beautiful day for PoE. Morning, Herzen. How's it going, Monkey? Hello, hello.
The Empire awaits you.
Thank you for the
with
follow,
open
Monkey.
jaws.
Thank you for the sub, Animos. Yeah, so today we're going to be doing a little bit of boss map farming. We're going to keep doing our strategy with destructive play. I'm going to try to generate some boss maps so I can just actually run my own frags. So the goal is to get our last 2 Void Stones today and get some more Atlas completion done. So we might be doing some low-level maps just to kind of get these knocked out. I also want to run a Coral Ruins kind of actually right away, so we can swap over to Soul of the Brine King. And yeah, I think that'd be pretty good. I did do a couple upgrades. I took that 7 Divine from the Jewel sale last night. I made a 6-link chest. How's it going, Mad Sweeney? I made a 6-link chest that has double the armor value that our last one did. I did get the melee hits have chance to fortify on here, which saved up 5 points on the tree. So we've dropped the fortification cluster because we now get it from our chest. I put those 5 points into Executioner and increased armor for red sockets on our weapon. Until we get a cluster jewel, I like to put the points here, and then when we get a cluster jewel, we can shift some of the points off the passive tree to the cluster jewel setups. But Executioner is really nice early on right now because we just get like increased AoE if we've killed recently, so it just makes our Cyclone even bigger when we're mapping. As far as the next couple points go, oh, and I don't remember where I got the craft from, but we already have unlocked -3 to total mana cost. So I bought this ring, so we have 2 crit rings now. I crafted this on there, so we have no mana cost in our Cyclone. Also got a better belt that just has better resistances on it.
The Empire awaits you with
Thanks, Nab, for the follow.
jaws.
So I think the first thing I'm going to upgrade today is I kind of want to get all my flasks automated. So I might be spending a bit of any money I make today on getting optimized flasks that gain charges when I'm hit with the right suffixes. Then we'll get them instilled so they're auto. Once we get our flasks situated. Honestly, I think the next upgrade I really want to get is Storm Shroud. I'd like to socket Storm Shroud right here and get like 1 Abyss Jewel and a Stygian and maybe another Abyss Jewel here so we get the 100% elemental ailment immunity, which is going to make the build just feel even smoother. So we might go we might go for Storm Shroud, or we might go for an Abyssus just to scale the damage even further. I think they're selling for about 1 Divine right now. So we'll see. Abyssus will make us a little bit less tanky against physical hits. Thanks, Nicholas, for the sub. Liking your POV so far. Having trouble hitting block attack damage cap though with the nodes you said in your last video. Yeah, so in order to really hit this, you have to not only take Whirling Barrier and Steelwood Stance, but you have to anoint Enigmatic Defense on your amulets. You need those 3 things. You also want to make sure you're using a staff that has 25% chance to block attack damage. So you want full value on the staff. And if you have the right implicit on the staff, the anointment, and these 2 nodes right here, when you should be able to spec Versatile Combatant with the Rumi's Concoction and be well over attack block. So you need like all those pieces together. Yeah, so like right now, I'm sitting at 5% over block attack block with versatile. But when I use my roomies, I get almost to 65% on block spell because it scales me up to 82. Yeah, no problem, Ben. Yeah, so we're just going to do some mapping for a while, guys. Try to get some boss maps so we can run the frags, maybe get lucky with some drops, make some sales. I think my next couple points, I'm going to put my next 2 points, I think, into here to get Brutal Skewering. And then I think after that, if I keep gaining levels, I'm just going to go into extra endurance charge. I'll take these 2 points right here. Maybe come up here. So this is like 3 points, 5 points. That's going to put us pretty much at 96, 97, 98. I might drop this 1 life node actually and just put this here. We're pretty good on HP right now. All right, we have like a comfortable amount of HP for a Slayer. Obviously more life is always good, but I think I might drop out of this one right here and then just pick up this node right here. So yeah, our next point will go into Brutal Skewering, and then we will nuck its POB for the build. Yeah, so our next point will go into Brutal Skewering, and then I think after Brutal Skewering, I'm just going to start working on stacking endurance charge. So we'll grab probably this one next, so we have 4 endurance charges. And then maybe take this right here, these 4 points here. Just finished the campaign following your POB. Smoothest build I've followed, to be honest. Really like getting to use the main spell skill attack already in the campaign. Yeah, Nicholas, that's one of the things that was really nice about adding General's Cry to the build, was we were able to swap to Cyclone a lot earlier. You can swap to Cyclone like as early as Act 3. I kind of waited to Act 4 to do it. But yeah, it's really nice being able to use your main ability really early on in the campaign. I was very pleased with that change to the POB. So yeah, we're basically just going to run maps today, guys. It's going to be a lot of map farming, a lot of trying to get these boss maps so we can run boss maps, doing a lot of Maven Witness stuff. So I'm just going to basically grab several maps here, it doesn't really matter, and we're going to just roll these and run these. I should try to do some maps for Atlas completion though, just to get some more points on the tree. Because honestly, it would be nice to get up here so we get Cortex maps as a chance from bossing. And then we can also come down this way, take Eldritch, and grab some Searing Exarch for farm. Is it worth pathing up to the top staff nodes for the crit options, or just going into a cluster? You could go up here, but this is pretty far up on the tree, Josh. I think it's better to go for a crit cluster jewel like I have on mine. I think the points are more efficient. Because you can solve, it's going to be a little expensive, but you can solve Fortify with Overlord on a large cluster jewel, and then you can attach crit cluster jewels, mediums onto that. And I think the point efficiency is better staying down here than just coming, you're pathing like, right, 4 nodes that are just attributes just to get up here. Whereas you put 2 points in here and you're getting increased melee fizz damage, and then you get your cluster sockets going. So I think it's just better point value doing everything down here on the bottom part of the tree. If you do want more armor, you could also run your cluster jewels off this and just get some 16% increased armor right here too. And this isn't a bad option. You can go for a little bit more armor, you can go for a little bit more damage. I just opt for damage, especially since we have a mercenary now that's going to provide ores and stuff. I'm just going more for damage at the moment. As far as the mercenary goes, I was told that we can't do determination and grace, but we could do determination with an invulnerability aura that happens temporarily, and some other things. So we basically need to look out for probably a pure strength-based mercenary. So if I come across any mercenaries today that are like strength int, dex, I'm just going to keep exiling them unless they have something good in their stash, because I'm going to be focusing on strength dex and strength mercenaries and seeing what options they provide. So the thing about auras is, they have a small range. So if you get too far away from your mercenary, it drops. But when you're bossing, the AI seems good enough that if you kind of stay in place, your mercenary is going to kind of grab it. It seems like like they're coded to be within range of you. So if you're moving too far away because we're just mapping, I don't think it really matters. But if you're fighting a tanky thing, you want to kind of try to stay relatively on top of it so your mercenary comes within your range. You switch to my Cyclone as poggers. Hey, I'm glad to hear it, Broken. Gosh, brilliant, thanks. The mercs were determination ore is insane. Yeah, so like right now, because of my armor setup, I have almost 10,000 armor, and I'm not even using my flasks. When I pop my flasks, I'm at 19,000 armor right now, and that's without the determination from my mercenary. So if we go like into a map right now, like I was doing this map earlier. So now I got my mercenary with me, right? He's giving me determination. I have 20,000 armor right now because of the mercenary. And when I pop my flasks, I go up to 37,000 armor. So that's a pretty good amount of armor for physical damage mitigation. I might do a couple maps for completion if I have any laying around. Like I think I saw this one. We're gonna check Kirak, but we have a lot of holes we need to fill in points on the tree, and I would like to actually get some more points on the tree. So I might spend the first, like, I don't know, 30 minutes or hour just doing some backfill on missing completion here. You need the Forbidden Flame and Flesh jewels, Joss, that have the Gladiator Ascendancy more than skill. More than skill gives us lucky block for our attack block and spell block. So you get the 2 jewels. One is Forbidden Flesh, one is Forbidden Flame. They each have the more than skill ascendancy on them. They're going to be pretty expensive. But when you socket those into your passive tree, you essentially get an ascendancy. You get an extra ascendancy from Gladiator, and it gives us lucky block for our spell and attack, which then scales it higher than 65. It's like, 85 to 90%. That's going to be one of the chase items for our build, right? We're going to be saving money to buy those jewels. They're not going to be cheap, so that's something like you'll be saving currency for over the league. So forgive me if new question, but what happens when you complete the Atlas? You win the game? It's not that you win the game. When you complete the Atlas, you start going into other stuff like farming maps for currency, and basically the game is always about improving your gear, right, and making your build stronger and stronger. So completing the Atlas is an objective, but like once you complete the Atlas, you want to start setting up your Atlas tree to do different farming strategies so you can make money off trade with other players, and then you use that currency to improve your gear and become stronger and stronger so you can be more powerful in the game. Do you feel that you would ever try to switch the build to champion? I think champion is fine, but I don't really think that it's gonna be for me. I think Slayer's what you run for Cyclone. I think if you are purely focused on bossing on this build, swapping to the champion once you have like the uniques and you can scale your fortification really high, and you're scaling your armor and evasion with perseverance, that's something I might test. So one of the benefits of going armor or evasion on my bases is if I do decide to go champion and test it out, I can drop Unwavering Stance and we can get a chest that has stun immunity, and we can get a perseverance and get the uniques, and we can try to scale fortification and the evasion and the armor. But I think the damage threshold for a champion is going to be lower than a Slayer, at least on this build. Plus you get like just other benefits with Slayer, like increased AoE from the Ascendancy, and I really like the 20% coal. It's pretty clutch.
Practice makes perfect.
One of the other things I want to work on today is trying to get better chaos resistance. We're still undercapped on it, almost completely. If I get like one more better roll on here, I might have to run like an Amethyst Flask to compensate, maybe. It's a low level map, so I'm mostly just going to boss for completion here. Yo, just saw the update vid, wondering how you think this build will fare in Delves. Haven't got to maps yet, but kind of thinking about what content I want to do. I think you can get probably to at least... Someone was saying that I think does Delves in my chat. You can probably get to like 500 or 600, but anything lower than that, you're probably going to have issues with defense. For sure, you'll be able to get down to like 200 to 300 to do boss farming and stuff. I haven't seen this map in a while. Sure, if I want to push deep delves, I could hot swap this build over to Gladiator. Yeah, you could do like different things, right, to try to scale the defense. You could go champion, for instance.
Just what I needed. More range. Hurry up and decide. Best me or serve me. It's yours then.
I always get stuck in stuff with Leap Slam. Frustrating. What is the MTX that's causing the explosion-like effect when you use Cyclone pack? That is a Polygon Shockwave effect on our Shockwave support. It's basically visualizing Shockwave, because you normally don't really see Shockwave on this build very well. But when you use the MTX, you can actually see the explosions it's doing, which is pretty cool. Well, these are low-level maps, oldies. I mean, we're gonna cruise. I'll show you a T17 so you can get an idea. I'm doing completion on low-level maps right now, but let me show you like a T16. I don't want you guys to. We're still gonna cruise through these. Don't get me wrong, but here's a T16. I really like Peninsula because it's basically a giant circle that you do. It's kind of nice. I mean, yeah, we're still cruising through T16, so it's whatever. Just the bosses might take a little bit longer. This is basically the game, guys. Yeah, it's not much different, right? It's pretty much the same. The only difference is bossing, depending on the mods. Like, right now, for instance, we've got unique bosses have increased area of effect and increased life. And because we're running a support Merc, this also gives the unique... If you look at the tooltip here, monster life is increased. Unique monsters have 50% life. And then we also have, as an affix on the mod, unique boss has 42% increased life. So the boss might actually take a second to kill, because he's going to have almost 100% increased life. Now, something I'm also doing is I've taken Desecrate out of my setup. I don't think we need Desecrate anymore, at least I don't, unless I'm doing real bosses. I think for like map bosses, Cyclone has enough damage now that I don't need Desecrate. So if my General's Cries don't spawn, it doesn't matter. My Cyclone has enough damage that I can just kill the bosses. But when I go to do like an actual boss, like when we do Uber Elder today or something like that, we're going to swap out Blood Rage for Desecrate when we go and do the fight. Because we're going to want our General Cry uptime for the extra damage. But for like mapping right now, it's going to take a little bit longer to kill the map bosses, but it's like whatever. As you can see, this guy has almost 100% increased life, so he might take a little bit longer to kill. Maven's also going to summon in some extra bosses right now because I'm doing destructive play. But even with like all the increased life on the boss, you can see they still die relatively quickly. So we're pretty much like cruising through T16s at this point. So I verified after talking with chat yesterday, Desecrate despawns if you weapon swap, so you can't do a weapon swap. So basically, once your build gets to a point like where mine is, you don't need Desecrate for mapping, but when you do like T17 bosses or like bosses, when you get to the boss room in like a T17, you're just going to swap out your Blood Rage for Desecrate so you can use it on the boss. And when you do like bosses, whether they're regular or Uber, you're going to just not run Blood Rage, you're going to swap in your Desecrate. But for like T16 mapping like this, we don't need to swap anything when we get to the boss room. Our Cyclone does enough damage now that we can just blast the boss. Yeah, so I mean, you can see we're not having any issues doing T16s. We're just chilling now. Yeah, you don't really need Blood Rage for single target, right? So you just kind of use Desecrate. But for mapping, obviously, you know, Blood Rage is really nice because you get the Frenzy charges. We don't get the benefit of the movement speed, but we get the benefit of the Frenzy charges. So I'm level 70, but it was pretty quick to drop 2 Divine Orbs. Got myself a Rumi and Stampede Boots. Also bought a half-decent 550 DPS staff and already have Tumult Cyclone. Should I already swap to crit? Yeah, Wander, I'd go crit. So I bought this base for 18 Chaos. I got a, I bought this base for 1 Divine. And because I got a better one. So I bought this base for 1 Divine, and then I just spammed some Deafening Essences of Contempt on it. Basically, last night on stream, a jewel dropped when I did Eater. I sold the jewel on stream for like 7 Divine, because it was a good jewel. I took, out of that 7 Divine, I took 1 Divine and bought this 6-link base, white, you know, no mods on it. And I just spammed Contempts until I got something decent, and then I benchcrafted on the Fizz. For the chest, I bought the chest for 2 Divine. It already had all of these stats on it, and then I just rolled some Eldritch Implicits on it to get the melee hits a chance to fortify and whatnot. What is your... Yeah, so basically I spent 3 Divines to get the 2 6-link pieces, and then I just kind of did some crafting to situate stuff. What's your accuracy rating right now, and is it just from precision alone? No. So right now I have 100% hit chance with accuracy. If I turn off precision, I'm sitting at 86%. So we are running precision with arrogance against our life, but I have pretty decent HP right now, so we're still almost 4,300 life, even with some reservation for precision. Yeah, so let's like demonstrate another T17 here. I'm gonna roll these. Just dropped an Aspect of Carnage, Forbidden Flesh. Should I use it or sell it? I mean, I personally would sell it because that's going to be a very valuable jewel, and I wouldn't use it on this build. But if you want to use it on this build, you're going to also have to get the Forbidden Flame Aspect of Carnage, and that's going to be expensive. Honestly, I would sell that and use the currency to make your character stronger, but it's whatever you want to do. Yeah, let's run this silo. The other thing I'm trying to do right now is while we're working on just farming boss maps and stuff, I'm just grinding out XP basically. Trying to get a few more levels in today. Yeah, if you want to use it, go ahead. I wouldn't use it on this build, but I mean, it's a lot of extra damage, but I wouldn't use it. I prefer to go for the Gladiator Ascendancy for Lucky Block. That's what this whole build is based on, is block. So if you want to alter it, you can and do something different. But I skill block on this build.
Charge by the minute. You've got a decision to make.
Alright, so like Dexent, we're going to exile this guy.
Oh, this won't take long. You're finished. Oh, as you wish.
Gem. Ooh.
Perfectly fitting.
I got blasted at the last second. This could be a little sketchy, but I'm going to pop this Sentinel on the bosses. We'll see how that goes. Be over here. Can't wait till we get elemental element immunity, because sucks. Oh yeah.
Oh, well, I know that.
Yeah, we're really weak against degen right now, so we have the what's that? That one boss that does the beam on us.
Empire lives on,
Ticks away.
and so do its most loyal of servants.
What's up, Burner?
The Empire lives on, and so do its
Thanks,
most
Edward,
loyal
and
of
Sound for the
servants.
subs. Alright, this could be a little rough. Okay. Yeah, because we did buff them. Buffing them with Sentinel. Getting there, did an all-nighter, but I'm getting way too old for that. Yeah, I hear that, dude. I hear that. I've always had problems with the degen boss when I didn't one-shot it. Is there a way to become more defensive towards it? Unless we stack up like life regen and damage over time resistance, it's kind of hard, Justin. It's one of the weak spots of the build.
Make your choice.
We are going to exile this guy.
Target in sight. Mark. All right. Message received. What's a flask? Cha-ching. Cha-ching.
This will hurt.
Cha-ching.
I survived the bits of traffic. I'll survive you. Make a call.
Alright, so this guy's strength based. He's got determination, infernal cry.
The Empire lives on, and so do its most loyal of servants.
Sugar slam. We might hire this guy, take his determination, and doesn't have the right setup I really want though. Thanks, Mr. Dom, for the sub.
Choose quickly. You will fall.
If I can defeat him. Yeah, we got him.
Anything's better than serving house cater.
Time to up the stakes.
What's our mercenary's boots look like? Yeah, he's got like no movement speed. We can fix that. One of the things too that might help with keeping the mercenary always near you is just making sure they have good movement speed boots. Hey Snavi, it's a bit of a hard question, but I saw your recent bit of the changes and then I just checked your POBs, but they are different from the one in your video, which to follow. I'm currently level 78. My POB on this character is a little bit different because I don't have everything that you have in the POB, right? I'm still saving up money, so I don't have cluster jewels, I don't have all the right things in place, you know, so my character on stream here is different because I'm working towards the POB, right? So I'm having to, you know, pick different things on the passive tree to fill out the holes that eventually, you know, once I get all the pieces of the POB, I won't need to do that. So my POB is a guide, use it as a guide, but you're going to have to make changes based on your character and like adapt things based on what you currently need at the moment so you can get all that stuff. When you do a vendor fizz recipe, how do you get it rare so you can craft additional crafts? Oh, you know what? I got rid of that other mercenary and he had the Perkle's toe on him. Do I still have him? Yeah. No, I have Perkle's toe here. I just didn't put it on our new guy. So our Eruptor, he's going to get Perkle's toe now.
It'll do.
Yeah, no problem, Ilan. When do you... Okay, the vendor recipe thing. I think Regal is the only way, Burner. You can use a rare Rustic Sash and do the recipe for a better fizz damage roll on it, but you still have to, like, Regal it, I believe, to upgrade it. I've been dumping all of my gem cutters right now into my Assassin's Mark because I want as much power charge up time as possible when we're bossing. Quality that first, basically. And use the Calm's Binding as well. Let me look that up real quick. Yeah, I think you mentioned that yesterday, Ian. And actually, while we're doing stuff, we might as well get him a decent pair of boots, too. Nearby enemies convert 25% of their physical damage to fire. Will that work because I'm using Brutality? I don't know if that actually works. I think it's like Herald of Ash, like it's not going to do much damage because I'm using Brutality. I think the only way that works is if I take out Brutality and I run a different gem setup. Otherwise, I don't think it's going to do as much damage. Got a stash full I can't craft on as I'm missing Regals. Gotcha, yeah. I should probably get this guy like good movement speed boots. What is he currently using? He's got... I don't mind starting to slot gear on these guys because, okay, so his resistances are solid. He just doesn't have any movement speed. Gives you 25 fizz takes as fire. Yeah, it... Oh, I understand. I'm reading the tag wrong. Gotcha. It converts their physical damage to fire, so thus it makes us tankier. Gotcha. I understand. No, I got you, Ian. I got you. Yeah, so that's basically just free PDR for us. That's super good, actually. Yeah, for sure. What is the belt that he currently has? Yeah, we can get him we can get him better boots with like life, cold, fire, and movement speed, and we can put a Calms on him. That is a... Yep, good idea. Ooh, they're pretty expensive. I think I have enough money though right now. I spent quite a bit upgrading my gear this morning. But that is probably worth the 48C for sure. Urkel's Toe. They're selling fast. Right now I'm using Blood Price as helmet, Grave Grind as gloves, Legacy of Fury's boost, Purkle's Toe, and Calm's Biting. Gotcha. Yeah, these things are flying on trade right now. Can't pick one up. How much was this guy selling it for? 48? Ooh, okay. That's a steal. Compared to everybody else right now. Okay.
Your call.
Alright, and then what I want to do now with him is, let's look at his other stuff. I guess his movement speed is fine for right now.
Back on my
Okay.
feet. Let's finish it.
Legacy of Fury. I'm actually might have a pair of Legacy of Fury. I do not actually. Okay. I think that's good for now. I need to save up some currency. I got much chaos or no divines. Kind of wiped ourselves out today. Yeah, that Calm's Binding is clutch actually. That's huge. Thanks Unknown for the follow. I'm in Act 2 just to level and get any better. It's rough young. It's rough early on. I'd say once you get Cyclone online with General's Cry sometime in Act 3, 4, it starts to feel a lot better. You're in the worst part right now. First couple acts. Yeah, Sunder, it's not terrible, right? But I mean, it's Sunder. It's a slam skill. You're just kind of, you know, zug-zugging around and slamming things. Genuinely night and day. Yeah, gotcha. I just wanted to ask, what's cheap way to craft a good staff? Cheap way to craft a good staff. I say reforge physical with harvest, or just buy some contempt essences, and then you can bench craft on. So that's what I did with this guy. I bought some I bought deafening contempt essences and got the guaranteed T1 at blink to blink fizz damage. I ended up getting lucky and I hit like a, it's not great. It's only 18% increased fizz damage, but I hit the hybrid fizz and I still had an open prefix, and I also hit the global crit multi. I crafted on the bench craft for the 105% increased fizz damage, and then I YOLO'd and exiled and actually hit the attack speed. So that's how I ended up with this weapon. So basically just kind of shenanigans like that, I'd say right now is probably your cheapest way to make a decent weapon for like T16s. Hey, I appreciate that, Zai. I appreciate all the support from you guys, and most importantly the feedback, because you guys have offered a substantial amount of feedback that has actually improved the build. Like Zarek suggesting like the bleeds the other day in the earlier loadouts for leveling made it feel so much better, even though Sunder still feels kind of crappy. Having that high bleed damage on bosses in the first couple acts made like that part of the build feel so much better. And there's just been tons of useful suggestions about various things that do and don't work that have, you know, we've refined over the last week. I'm just glad that there's not another well-written. I'm just glad that there's another well-written Cyclone guide not getting baited by Wooly again. I'm not going to address that topic. I'll leave that as is. I think generally speaking, I will say this much. The fact that I was the only recommended build on Path of Exile builds on the build list for 3.26 for Cyclone, I think pretty much says everything.
This is not a challenge, but I welcome it nonetheless.
I'll just leave it at that. Thank you. Really been enjoying the build for making it. No problem, Unknown. I'm glad you guys are having fun playing it.
Do try not to deliberate too long.
Yeah, we're just gonna take this guy's stash, I think.
Let's keep this civil, shall we? This is how it's done.
Ooh, he is a spicy boy. Ooh.
So uncivilized.
Damn, maybe not. Maybe we ain't taking nothing from that guy. How SSF eyeballs a build? I do like the look of it. Other builds just seem way too much screen cancer. I have VODs on my channel, DD. I made 2 SSF characters in the last 3 weeks testing this build prior to 3.26, right? So I didn't have the buff to Cyclone or anything like that. and I got through T16s and Void Stones and, you know, doing stuff. So it's totally viable in SSF, but if you're trying to do like Cyclone of Tumult with the Stampede boots, it's going to be a bit more of a grind because you're going to have to actually farm Blight to get the boots and stuff. So it'll, you know, it's SSF, it's more of a grind, but I actually leveled 2 characters, got them to T16s within a week, got Void Stones, did, you know, tried farming Blight for the boots and stuff. So it's totally League Start viable, and you can just scale it further in SSF. It's just going to take you a little bit longer, right? Because you don't have some of the stuff that you can easily get in trade. You're going to have to farm it, basically.
The stakes. A game of gods. Shielded.
Yeah, no problem, DD. I also did actual videos on the YouTube channel, where I was like, hey, here's an update for the build, here's the first SSF character I did, here's the second SSF character I did, and I kind of showcased them off. My first SF character was stronger because I actually was able to find 6 links within the couple days that I played it. And I also got like a Rumi's concoction, so I was able to scale the spell block better. The second SSF character was a little bit weaker because I wasn't able to find or craft a 6 link in the couple days that I played it. So it was a little bit of a rougher experience, and I never found a Rumi, so I wasn't able to really scale my spell block the way I like to on this build. So, you know, it kind of shows you the RNG of SSF and the fact that you got to kind of grind in SSF to get all the things you need versus like trade, right?
The Empire awaits you with open
Thanks,
jaws.
Kraz, for the follow. Thank you guys for the follows. Much appreciated.
Long day. Hey.
Ooh, we got an Atziri vault. I might do this with my buddies in a bit. I know they're going to probably want to run this for completion. What's up? Got both my 6 links. I'm cruising now. What's that? No, I'm not using Canacolamac. I bought for Divine, I bought a 6 link base, and then I just like did some Essence spam and Benchcraft, and I have like a 650 PDPS staff now. You think the price of Stampede will go down? It's starting at 160 right now, according to Ninja. Yeah, nasty price point. Snobby, thank you for your great League Star video. I was reading your notes, but I couldn't understand what the codes of map modifiers devote. Is there any place I can find what they mean? Basically, the map modifiers that is there is like you want to avoid monsters can't be leached from, players can't regenerate life, less effective auras, things like that. I've been following your Cyclone guides since neck, and you always have the best explanations on how everything works. Appreciate it, Young. Hey, just watched your video on the update. Any recommendations for getting a 6 link, or should I just be buying one? I was telling people I bought this base for 1 Divine, and then I just, you know, spammed some essences on it and bench crafted on the fizz damage. So I think like if you just want a 6 link staff, you just buy the base and you just do some simple essence spamming, you know, and some bench crafting, and you kind of just get the best thing you can get right now. Crafting a better weapon than this is a bit more complicated and expensive. How much block do you have with Versatile Combatant currently? I only 82% with Rumies, and without it skilled, I don't know how to get more. So the way block works, right, is I currently have 70%, so I'm 5% over the cap, right, with Versatile Combatant. That gets me to 35% spell block. When I pop my Rumies, I go up to 63% spell block. With Versatile Combatant, the most we can have is 65 on both of these. So I'm pretty close on the spell, and I'm capped on the attack. I would actually be capped on spell block if I had a perfectly rolled Rumies. I'm actually 2% short on the block spell damage here. And then we don't get any other way to scale it above the 65 until we get the Forbidden Flame and Flesh jewels that give us gladiators more than skill. And that will essentially give us a lucky block to our attack and spell block, which scales us up to like 85 to 90%. It's getting from a 5-link to a 6-link worth losing some DPS on the weapon. I've never played with Impale before. I would recommend that you don't compromise the physical DPS of your weapon. I would just go and when you get the currency, I would just buy a 6-link base and on the side work on crafting it. And when you can get it to the same physical DPS or better of your current weapon, then I'd make the swap. Your weapon is always the most important thing. Like gem links are super powerful, but if you have to choose between a staff that has like 450 Fizz DPS with a 5-link, or I'm sorry, a 450 DPS staff with a 6-link and like a 700 Fizz DPS staff with a 5-link, you go with the 700 Fizz DPS staff. Yeah, no problem. Contempt is the essence that you use for crafting Fizz DPS. It gives you the adds blank to blank Fizz damage. I got a Vault of Atziri, but I want to wait till more people are on. We can maybe run it. Nice. Awesome, man. Can't wait to get back from work and start mapping build. Feels great. Hey, glad you're enjoying it. No problem, Tanis. Alright, so we got Maven to do here. Let's grab some currency.
Hey.
Temp chains. This is actually not bad. We'll run this. Now, this is an example, guys. When we go to do actual bossing, we're going to drop Blood Rage and we're going to swap in our Desecrate so we can have the General's Cry uptime when we boss. We're going to go in here. And when we start this, we're going to drop our Desecrates where the first boss spawns and we're going to start spinning.
The Empire awaits you with open jaws.
Drop your Desecrate and spin. Be careful on this particular boss because he does like the fire beams and he can chunk you pretty hard. Spider also does poison. We don't have any chaos resistance right now, so that can be a little risky.
The Empire awaits you with open jaws.
Ooh, this guy does Flame Blast, so he's particularly nasty. Be very careful. One of the nice things with the large radius of Cyclone is we can essentially kind of kite the outskirts of these guys. I think this is actually the one that also does like the Molten Shell Explosion, which is particularly dangerous. Guy's chonky. It's like in Rage Roa. Hey mate, can you post your current POV? My most updated POV is right here. Any specific reason for not using Abyssus? I haven't got the currency yet, Yuri, so I wanted to upgrade my chest and my weapon first, so I have my 6-link situated. Abyssus is on my to-do list. They're like 1 divine right now, I just need more currency. I'm doing T16s right now, and I just did like 10 boss Maven Witness. Just found your stream off YouTube. Did you ever test the Link Mastery working with the Merc? I have not yet. I don't know if I'm actually going to do that or not. Now that I have Stampede and Cyclone of Tumult, I might grab another pair of boots and try the Link thing, but we're so tight on gem links, like gem sockets right now. I can't see the justification of dropping one of my actual gems right now for a Link. I just can't see that. Like I'm already socket starved right now, and I can't run Blood Rage. I have to swap out Desecrate and Blood Rage for bossing. I just don't see myself probably doing the Link thing. I'll probably just use Stampede. Yeah, Abyssus is the helm.
The Empire lives on.
Yeah, if I start putting like a Link skill in here, I gotta really start messing around. Like I'm already running Leap Slam without faster attacks just to be able to fit stuff into my sockets. It's pretty tight right now. I mean, you guys are feel free to experiment and do your own thing, but that's probably how I'm gonna roll. Alright, did I get any lower maps for completion? That's the bricked one. Kirak might have reset. We're gonna do these low level maps for completion. Oh, I grabbed 2 of the same. Rip. Grab Bog. Yeah, so we'll do 2 of these for completion. Is Tumult that much better than Cyclone Shock? So what makes no, so if I'm gonna buy an Abyssus Beauty, I'm gonna buy a well-rolled one. So I want like near cap crit multi on it, and I want the lowest possible phys damage taken because it can scale 40 to 50% physical damage increase taken. So if I'm gonna buy an Abyssus, I want the lowest roll on phys damage taken and the highest roll on crit multi, and that makes it expensive. I'm not just gonna buy an Abyssus that has 50% increased damage taken when I can get one that has 40% increased damage, physical damage taken. So I'm going to be picky about Abyssus because it does make the physical damage reduction of the build weaker. And if I'm going to wear that, I want to have the highest crit multi-roll on it possible. Yeah, I mean, so far I've sunk about 4 to 5 Divines into the build. Most of it was getting my 6 links situated for my weapon in my chest. Stampede cost me, actually Stampede, so probably like, chest was 2 divine, staff was 1 divine, Stampede was like 2 divine, so 2, 4, 5 divine, plus another divine for crafting. Yeah, about 6 divine or so far. Game looks so widescreen and zoomed out compared to mine. I have like a 3440 by whatever widescreen curved monitor that I play as my primary. So yeah, it's pretty scaled out. All right, we're just doing these maps for completion. I really don't care. I just want the Atlas points. I'm trying to get Cortex maps to drop, and then once we get that, we're probably gonna path down here. Actually, we're probably just going to come over here and start grabbing the Exarch stuff so we can run Exarch. Oh, well, we can't do Exarch on destructive play. So we'll probably go into Scarab drop chance. That's what we're actually going to do. You know if there's a minimum level of blighted maps that Stampede drops at? I don't, Yuri. The information is pretty vague on that. I played a lot of normal Shockwave Cyclone. I just don't know how beneficial Stampede Tumult is in comparison. Cyclone does significantly more AoE. It's way larger, and it does a lot more damage. There's nothing wrong with playing regular Cyclone. It's just going to have less AoE and less damage. So if you don't want to deal with Stampede, you don't have to. There's nothing wrong with playing just normal Cyclone. Just understand you're going to have less OE on this build, and you're going to do less damage. It's just whatever you want to do. I'm not going to force it on anybody.
Empire awaits you with open jaws.
You know, we move at a consistent speed. We don't zoom, but I'm fine with that. I really don't care about moving, like, you know, at the speed of light. For some people, that's a deal breaker. It doesn't bother me. I prefer having just better damage all around, better AoE. You can start using Cyclone at 28. I suggested it in my guide that you probably have a really good physical DPS weapon, like a staff ready to go, and you want to be able to use General's Cry to supplement the single target damage. Well, guys, we just made money. Look at that. That's 15 divine. Nice. Look at that. I just got a Hinocor's lock to drop. It's 15 divine. It's a good day to start playing some Pee-wee. Streamer luck, man. Grats. I really like to zoom, but I don't come to Cyclone, so I don't have to stop moving. I'll zoom when I make flicker. Yeah, flicker is like the more my thing for zooming. My turn for that drop too next, right? Yeah, damn. Stream click. Oh, that's pretty good, guys. I think we're not going to have trouble funding the next upgrades to the build. It's pretty good. That came out of a freaking like T5 map, dude. That's huge. Nah, man, I don't know what I'm going to upgrade now. Probably pick up the Abyssus. I'm kind of tempted not to run Abyssus for a little bit. I know it's so much more damage. It just makes the build a lot weaker. But because we have our Mercenary and he has this Calm's Binding, so 25 Fizz is fire, that kind of offsets the downside of Abyssus significantly. I think I'm going to go for an Abyssus now, actually, as my next upgrade. And the other thing I really want to do is I want to get a Storm Shroud and get a Stygian Vice with the 2 Abyss Jewels. So I'm probably going to do Abyssus, Storm Shroud, so we can get much more damage. Storm Shroud will give us Elemental Ailment Immunity. So we don't have to worry about Shock, Ignites, Freeze, Chills, any of that stuff anymore. That'd be super good. That's probably... Oh, and... So this is enough money to do all that, and I can get all my Flask fixed. So I'm actually going to fix my Flask first and get an Abyssus. And then we'll figure out Storm Shroud. I think those are the things I'm going to do right now with that. Yeah. Let's run this other map for completion. Yeah, right now I'm running General's Cry with Auto Exertion. We're using Sunder, Melee Fizz, Pulverize, and Concentrated Effect. Some guys just linked his Pilfer Ring and 2 mirrors. Oh, wow. I can't believe a freaking Hinocor's lock drop, dude. I've never seen one of those drop. That's insane. That's actually crazy. Actually crazy. How do the drops work? All you gotta do is watch my stream, and then you're gonna get the stuff on Twitch. You just gotta claim it, and then you should be able to get the MTX in the game. Yo, what's up, Sergeant? You just missed it if you just came in. I had a Hinocor's lock drop like 2 or 3 minutes ago, so that's like 15 divine I just made. Good karma for giving us the build. Yeah, I guess that's true, right? This is the advantage of playing Trade that I talked about the other day. Like, Trade does give me the advantage to kind of speed through the build and show you guys stuff. If we were playing SSF, obviously this would be a lot harder. Oh wow, thanks Ska for the follow, Yor for the follow, Diff for the follow, Nene for the sub, Ogre for the follow, Joel's for the follow. Thank you guys. Did you generalize the explanation between how Tumult is a lot more damage than Cyclone, bud? It's just Tumult, as you notice how when I spin with Tumult, it gets larger and larger because it's ramping up in stacks. And if you look at the top of my screen, you're going to see the Cyclone buff says 5. Basically, every stack that Cyclone of Tumult ramps up, you do more damage. At max stacks, it just does more damage than Cyclone at the same gem level. It also has a larger AoE than Cyclone. So I can actually illustrate this if I go back. Hopefully I still have my Cyclone gem. I think I put it in my stash. Yeah, so I have my Cyclone right here. So let me demonstrate this for you. So I'll take the MTX off Cyclone also. Okay, so here is regular Cyclone. here's Cyclone right here. See the AoE
The
on it?
Empire lives on,
And
so
then here's
do its
Cyclone of
most
Tumult.
loyal of servants.
So it's just a larger radius. So you get a larger radius, and then on top of that, Tumult just does more damage at max stacks than Cyclone does. So it's just better AoE and better damage. That's what you're getting. Oh, did I? Yeah, I want Tumult, sorry. So that 500 Fizz DPS staff I gambled yesterday for 1 Divine. Nice, Sergeant. Yeah, no problem, Scott. Yeah, it's personal preference. There's nothing wrong with running regular Cyclone, and it's not like you're doing half the damage or something. You're just doing, like, I don't know what the math is. I don't want to mislead you guys. Maybe it's 10%, 15%. It's just slightly less damage, but it's also less AoE, right? So I just like Tumult because it's larger screen clear, and it's just simply more damage. The downside is, like, you move at this consistent speed. This is as fast as you ever move because you have to use Stampede when these pair of boots, and they lock your movement speed to this. So, like, this is the only thing about using it. You just, either this is okay with you or you're not okay with it. If you're not okay with this, run Cyclone with, you know, and scale movement speed. But I don't mind this speed as the character. This is fine for me. Yeah, 4 Divine before level 80, easy league starts. Bought a 6-link staff chest, cruising to 90 now. Yeah, there you go, dude. Alright, let's sell this Hinakoras. I can't believe this thing dropped, dude. This is actually crazy. 15 Divine. That is nutty. At Giga budget, would it be better to run normal Cyclone? Yeah, that's pretty much what I did, Scott. I was running Cyclone yesterday until I could get Stampede and kind of get my gear a little bit better. And then once I got Stampede, I swapped over to Cyclone of Tumult. But you can do, like, I have 2 SSF characters that I made as a test over the last 3 weeks. So I didn't have access to Cyclone of Tumult or these unique boots. And I did it on live stream. I leveled them up. I did T16s. I did Void Stones. So, like, you don't have to use Cyclone of Tumult for this to be a league starter. It just is quality of life in terms of AoE. It's better damage. Yeah. Yeah. The fact is my build is built around these 2 things. If you want to play a build that's super fast and zoomy, you're probably better off playing like a Bull build, playing a Wanderer, playing something else. Like, that's not what this build is. This build is like, you make your giant vacuum cleaner that runs. You're basically a giant vacuum cleaner that spins around and kills everything. Like, that's basically the idea behind this build. Like, you just basically mow through all the enemies and just destroy everything. Yeah, this is my staff right now. You know what? Let me see if POB updated, because they may have the new gem stuff in there. I felt like it had less range on it. I don't know if it was more damage though. It didn't feel like it was more damage when I was using it. Yeah, I feel like Sunder of Trathus is just less damage, and POB is confirming that. It is significantly less damage. Sunder of Trathus is about 7 million less damage than regular Sunder. Should I go for Stampede before good rare 5 or 6 link? My first major purchase was Stampede boots when I had 5 links. I had a 5 link chest and a 5 link staff, and I prioritized getting Stampede so I could get Cyclone of Tumult online. So I highly recommend that you get your first purchase to be a Roomies to scale your block and attack your spell block and stuff. And then I always recommend go for these first so you can get Cyclone of Tumult online. But I did have 2 5 links at the time when I did that yesterday, so, you know. Yeah, I would. Me personally, I would just go for the Stampede. I anointed Serpent Stance on the boots. It seems better than what you showed in the newest showcase. Serpent Stance? I feel like that's probably on the right side of the tree. Serpent Stance. Enemies poisoned by you have 5% spell skills. Serpentine. I was like, that doesn't make sense. Serpent Stance. Let me look up POB. Okay, I found it. It's up here, huh? 30% to global critical strike multiplier, 40% increase. Ooh, this is nasty. Yeah, this is really good. You get 15% more crit multi here, but you also get increased global critical strike chance to block attack damage. I think you're right. This does look better. That's actually pretty good, ma'am. Like, I think this is actually worth getting. Opalescent Black and what? Azure? So really Opalescent's the only expensive thing. And that helps scale your attack block further. We lose some crit multi, but we also get 40% increased global critical strike chance, which does help scale that up a bit. Belt of the Seaver is decent. I think I actually have one of those. Yeah, until you get like your Rage Mastery, this is pretty decent. It's got some LE. I mean, obviously rare belts are just better nowadays because you get so much more life and resistances on them. Need to find a different staff, Ska. Yeah. Thanks, Sai, for the follow. AK for the sub. For sure. I might actually swap to that Anoint. That looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I don't have a lot of Chaos right now, but once I sell that Hinakoros, I still can't believe this thing dropped, dude. That's actually crazy. That's like momentum for the build right there. That might take a minute to sell, though. On day 2, 3, there's probably not a ton of mega multi-crafting going on. Maybe by now it's starting to... The multi-crafters are starting to pop off, but... Am I able to drop my accuracy nodes at this point? Yeah, I no longer have my accuracy nodes. I got an amulet yesterday that has a really high accuracy roll on it. This accuracy roll and this amulet basically made it where I don't have to run Eagle Eye anymore. So I got those points back. I also used the Eldritch Implicit for melee hits have chance to fortify, which means I was able to spec out of the 5 points on the fortify cluster here. Can't you just use the currency trade thing? I can use the currency trade thing to get the oils for the Anoint. The problem is I don't have a lot of money right now. I only have 19 Chaos, and an Opalescence probably like, I don't know, 15 Chaos at least. I don't want to waste all my currency on just swapping an Anoint that's probably like maybe the same damage, maybe a little bit better. I don't have any money right now. Yeah, they're like 12 Chaos. I'll wait till I sell stuff. I don't have very good English. I use translation. I uploaded my own build to the general chat on Discord. I'm having trouble doing T16. My fights with the monsters take a long time. If you have time, I'd be happy if you could check out the build on Discord. Oh, you mean use currency exchange to sell my item. Gotcha. Yes, that is true. I wonder what they're going for. Let me check real quick. I want Divine. I have a Hinakoros. Oh, they're going for the same price. Yeah, I'll just trade it that way. That's I keep forgetting about the currency exchange. That's easy.
The Empire lives on, and so do its most loyal of servants.
Oh, boom. There's our money. Yeah, I'll take a look at it in a second, but where do you get your int from? I need to use an int amulet with 40 on it. I actually have an int roll on my helmet, plus 36 here. And I have essentially 37 plus 36. I have essentially 70 intelligence on this amulet right here. So I have 70 intelligence on this amulet and plus another 36 here on the helm. So that's currently how I'm doing that. If I get an Abyssus, we will have to figure out intellect, because I believe I'm going to be short 97 and we need 113. So basically I need 16 intelligence. Now might be the time to do some major stuff. So we got monies. I could go Abyssus. I could swap this ring over to have some intelligence on it to offset that. I could then also get maybe a curse on hit vuln ring, and we could anoint Whispers of Doom on the boots. I think Whispers of Doom would be super OP with a curse on hit vuln ring. Oh yeah, that's right. Abyssus gives 25 stats. That is very true. Yeah, so I just get an Abyssus. And then I think we maybe go for a curse on hit vuln ring. We do Whispers of Doom on boots. And then I get better flasks and I instill all these so we auto our flasks. I think that's probably the best things I can do right now. It's going to add quality of life to the build. It's going to... Extra curse on everything is huge damage potential. Abyssus will be huge damage. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Let's start looking at trade, guys. I don't. So we could catalyst the neck too, Zach. That's very true. I also need to catalyst the rings. Alright, let's pick up an Abyssus first. That'll be the first thing we do. And I'm looking for a very specific Abyssus. I want the least amount of damage taken, and I want the highest crit multi I can get. Perfectly rolled attributes, perfectly rolled crit multi. 2 divine. We're grabbing it. You already found the EU servers are stable? Nice, dude. Alright. 25, 125, 40. Boom. Beautiful. Alright, so the reason this costs 2 divine, guys, is it has the lowest possible increased physical damage taken roll. It has the highest capped 125 melee crit strike multiplier. And it has 25 to all attributes. So now all we have to do is quality it and link it. All we really need is the top 2 linked on this. Oh no, we need the bottom 2 linked for cast 1 damage, so boom, easy. Alright, running Abyssus. Okay. Let's check rings real quick and see if we can get a curse on hit. Yeah, Viv, I had a Hinocor's lock drop on stream about 20 minutes ago. I sold it for 14 divine. A freaking Hinocor's lock dropped, yeah. Yeah, thanks, Viv. Fortify Imp is on body, right? Yeah, the Fortify Implicit, I have it on my chest right now. Thanks, Win. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Look at rings real quick. Curse on hits. We want vulnerability. Do any exist right now? Okay. Now we're specifically looking for, what do we lose on this? We need dex probably. Oh no, we're attribute situated because this gives us actually dex too, which the former helm didn't. So really I just want as much life and resistance as I think on the ring would be probably the smartest play. I don't have chaos resistance cap, so I picked up a 30 chaos resistance here. I think I'm going to try to find a ring that has chaos resistance with curse on hit ball, and it's probably going to be expensive as hell. If it even exists. Yeah, when we pretty much figured it all out, is what it is. There's one that has 25 chaos resist. The life is kind of low, but that's fine. Cold, fire damage is not great. I think there might be only one here. Yeah, this might be the only ring that we can really work with. It's not ideal, but it does have some cold. Like, what do my resistances look like right now? Yeah, I need to keep my LE resistances capped. What's your strategy when buying upgrades? So the very first upgrade I got was a Rumi's Concoction, so we could scale our spell block with attack block. The next upgrade I got was Stampede, so I could start using Cyclone of Tumult. Once I had these three things, Rumi's, Stampede, Cyclone of Tumult, I then focused on getting the best weapon and chest I could get, that are 6 links. And after that, my priority was to get an Abyssus. So we have the Abyssus now. Now we're getting a Curse on hit ring, and we're going to anoint Whispers of Doom on the boots, so we get double Curse. And then once I do that, we're going to fix our flasks. And we should be pretty much in a decent state. We're pretty much going to be as powerful as we can get before we start crafting some costly gear to scale into the late end game. Yeah, I mean, this fixes my issue with cold resist. My fire resist is fine. I just got to figure out lightning resist. I might have to buy a better amulet that hopefully, or gloves that have like a higher lightning resist roll. Or I'm sorry, fire resist. Fire resist and lightning resist. We might have to, I think the gloves are what we fix for resistances, and I might just pick up this ring for 2 divine. This does give us 25 chaos resistance, and we can actually slam an exalt on it too. Yeah, Curse on hit ring is pretty crazy. We'll put Whispers of Doom on here, and damage is going to be slapping with all of this. We'll fix our flasks next, and then we'll probably get a better pair of gloves to fix our like overall resistances. Alright, Curse on hit, Chaos, Cold, Life, boom. Thank you. Alright, so now we have Curse on hit. So, unfortunately, it's a pretty bad implicit, but that's fine. We're mostly wanting this thing so that we can do our double curse. Alright. So basically, we just got to figure out fire resistance. If I can get gloves with some chaos resistance, fire resistance. Yeah, we'll fix resistances with our gloves. And we're going to get 3 golden oils so that we can put Whispers of Doom on our boots.
Hello, hello, hello.
As a casual player who doesn't play much PoE1, it was hard for me to figure out General's Cry, Auto Exertion, and Sunder. Looking at PoB, it's hard to figure out if I should be a 5-link or 2-link or 2-link. Well, it took me 20 minutes to figure out that something wasn't working. Yeah, it's in order for General's Cry to work, at a minimum, you need General's Cry, Auto Exertion, and Sunder all linked together, right? Auto Exertion is what casts automatically the War Cry. Sunder is what General's Cry clones use as their ability. After that, if you're doing a 4-link or 5-link, it's just supports for the Sunder. You know, melee fizz, brutality, whatever. Is Cyclone Shockwave a good mapper? I don't know, chat. Do you want to tell them whether it's a good mapper or not? I think it's a good mapper. So we want Chaos Orbs for Divine Orbs. I think it's a pretty good mapper, right? You know? Terrible, yeah. Okay, grab that. Alright, so now we're gonna grab golden oil with chaos orbs. Alright, let's anoint Whispers of Doom on the boots.
God's warmth.
Apply an additional curse. Beautiful. I think we'll... It's worried about anointing enigmatic defense, but it's dirt cheap. Yeah, it's 3 violets. That's why it's a great recommendation early on. Alright, so now what we need to do is, I guess, YOLO slam the ring, and maybe if we're lucky, we hit, like, something decent. We mostly just have this ring because it has the curse on it, right? It does have some cold chaos and life, so it's not the most terrible thing in the world, but it's not ideal. I would have been really happy if this was on like an iron ring base or, you know, a 2-stone or something, but it is what it is. Yeah, that's fine, Oli. You just want to constantly be working on keeping your 6 links going. Let's go ahead and get new gloves. Alright, so what are we looking at resistance-wise? We basically need 25 resistance all the way around. Look at trade. Honestly, that's my biggest struggle, going down a link for something that has better stats. Can't bring myself to do it. Like, the socket pressure even now is crazy. Yeah, this build does have socket pressure for sure. You gotta kind of figure stuff out. I'm thinking maybe we just do like 2 resistances, and then I can just run like a pseudo resistance and chaos on the other one. We also could buy a much better belt. Like, the resistance rolls on this are pretty low. And now that we have the currency, I could probably drop like 2 or 3 divine on a really good resistance belt. That's probably the play, actually, is get the belt that has like really high resistance rolls on it. Yeah, we're gonna go for a really well-rolled belt. We can easily squeeze out more resistances. We'll lose the chaos on the belt, but I think it's worth. Or we just get 2 really high rolls of the others. Like, what's my lowest on these? Cold? So we could do like cold and fire with life. What's your attack block without roomies? Right now it's sitting at 70%. 70% attack block. Oh my god. It's actually beautiful. It's actually beautiful, and it's better than what I'm currently wearing. For the most part. It's way better rolls on fire and cold resistance. For now, at least. Super nice. Thank you. Does attack speed with staves also work with staffs? Yeah, staves are staffs. Alright. Oh, that's because we're not wearing the gloves. Got it. Okay. How do our resistances look now? Okay, that's better. So I think we run lightning resistance and life on gloves. Lightning resistance, life on gloves. The chaos roll maybe? Chaos resistance roll? Let's see if we can get that. I just got a Haze Grace Poacher's Mark, one of those infamous ones. Damn, nice Riken. OP. Ooh, these are kind of nasty. How much did I have on this? Basically, like sub 400. 155 life, chaos resistance, lightning resistance. Ooh, but they did the lightning as that. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I guess we just run a little bit lower on the life then. Maybe I take these 3 points out, I go back into life. We'll see. Put those in later. I was thinking about an RPG. We're only going to have 2 pieces of gear we can put suppression on those, so at best we can have like, what, 14 on the chest? Or is it higher on chest? It might be, what, 18% on chest? Let's say 14 on gloves and 14 on chest puts us at 28%, with the Flask puts us at like 38% chance suppression. So it's not great, but it's something. We could also consider investing points over here and then grabbing the chances to suppress spell is lucky, but that is a 7-point investment on the tree right now, and I don't think that's going to be feasible. So at best I think we're going to be able to get like maybe 30 to 40% spell suppression if we get 2 rolls on the gear here plus a Flask. Unfortunately, because we run Abyssus and Stampede, we can't roll spell suppression on those. How important are the different staff implicits? Is there any way we should avoid? Yeah, Phil, because we're playing a block build, you want to use 25% chance to block attack damage. Preferably you want an Ezomite staff because it has the highest base crit, I believe, of the staffs. What second-hand mastery did you take next to Executioner? Or 2-hand mastery? I just went with increased armor right now. You could take attack with two-handed weapons, deal 60% increased damage with hits and ailments. That's probably pretty good, but it does have the reduced attack speed. Also, 3% chance to deal triple damage is pretty good, but I went more defensive on this one. So that's like 50% increased armor right there. And I am trying to keep our PDR pretty high. Minus Flasks and Mercenary. Especially since we're running a business now. The bleed nodes on the early loadouts just make our Sunder do more damage while we're bossing and stuff. It just helps us out with our single target damage until we make the swap later on. It feels a lot better when you're doing bosses, like the campaign bosses for each act. I'm thinking, guys, what kind of gloves I want to get. No problem, Phil. Decisions. I mean, I guess I could pick up these gloves. Unfortunately, we're just gonna run a little bit low on fire resistance. However, we can fix that, I think, with this right here. It's what, 31% lightning resist? Brings us up to 82. I think I'm going to pick up these gloves. The problem is that we have our 4 red sockets, and they're evasion based. It's going to be almost impossible to color 4 red. You're going to have to do some benchcraft shenanigans. That might balance out pretty decently if I go with these. It does give us some chaos resistance back. I also think I'm going to do this real quick. I'm going to talk to Faustus, and we're going to respec out of these for right now. And we're going to go back into some life here, just to kind of boost our HP back up, like that. I'm just going to buy these for now, I think, and that'll do for now. The gloves that make you kill people? Yeah, mad. I'm basically looking for resistances in life and armor on my gloves right now. Specifically chaos resistance to kind of try to balance out. Trying to get my chaos resistance up somehow right now a little bit. We might start running an amethyst flask over the basalt to help out with that. I'm not sure. Let's quality these up. We do need to re-roll them with Eldritch Implicits. Alright, so our life is pretty much the same. We'll take a look at our resistances real quick. On our resistances, we're just a little bit low on fire. We've got actually 25 chaos now. I think we can re-roll this into lightning and fire. Yeah, fire and lightning. There we go. Yeah, so we're like at 74 lightning. We're just slightly under now. But we're pretty much balanced out. If we run like an LE weakness map, we're going to be under. But we just cannot run that mod if we don't want to. But yeah, so resistances are basically balanced out as well as I can get them right now. Oh yeah, we can YOLO the ring with an Exalt. Might actually do that. Let's go get it. We have what, one open mod on here? Maybe hit an interesting prefix. Alright, let's see what we hit. +1 to maximum energy shield. Yikes. Whatever. Okay. It's the worst possible thing we could have rolled. It's fine. It's all gonna be okay. Really, the only thing I want to do at this point is fix my, Oh, we can also YOLO Exalt the amulet here. Let's do that also. Yeah, I want to fix Catalyst too. Somehow I'm always lacking on one defensive stat, 2.5k armor, Act 8. Oof. I mean, 2.5k armor is not too bad in Act 8, but you definitely want to try to fix that before you get to once you get into maps and stuff. Like right now, basically, I'm sitting at almost 10,000 armor, but with my flasks, I'm up to 20,000, and with my Merc and he has determination, that gets me to like 35k plus. So, yeah, you definitely want to figure that out. Alright, let's YOLO slam this amulet, see if we get anything interesting. Maximum energy shield, I think. Or no, was it mana? It was something useless. It's whatever. Okay. I think I'm gonna buy some more Eldritch currency, and we're just gonna roll the gloves. I'd like to get the mods fixed on the implicits on these before we continue. So let's do that real quick.
Hello, hello.
We're gonna grab some more chaos. Nice. Nice. Alright, and now we're just going to buy some Iggers. How much are these going for? Okay, that's it. And then let's buy the other ones. I don't know if I want attack speed or the crit chance roll is so low of an impact. I think attack speed is probably better. I might just run attack speed right now. Yeah, I just picked up an Abyssus, perfectly rolled, and then I got a Curse on Hit Bone Ring, Anointed Whispers of Doom on my Stampede boot, so I have my double anointment now. Yeah, I'm gonna be slapping. It's gonna be crazy. Oh, we gotta fix flasks. That's a lot. What's that? Gotcha. Oh, that looks nasty. Because you do chaos damage, right? So then you're just doing a bunch of shock damage now? That thing looks nutty. Okay, guys, let's fix our flasks real quick. I kind of want to get... We don't have much money left. I think we've spent our Hinacor's lock pretty well. Perfectly rolled Abyssus, Curse on Hit Ring, Whispers of Doom. We pretty much got ourselves into some kind of chaos resistance. How much armor do I have without a Basalt Flask? Before I use my Mercenary. Oh, that's not bad. I think we run an Amethyst Flask, and that will... An Amethyst Flask will get us to basically 60% chaos resistance, and that's going to be pretty comfy. Yeah, I think we go Amethyst. Alright, let's look at flasks on trade and see what I can buy. They're going to be freaking expensive. But we want essentially like a Transgressor's Diamond Flask. Was the lock a random drop? I got it. It dropped like on stream 30 minutes or so ago while I was just doing like a T5 map. It just dropped. I was like telling chat, this is crazy. I sold it for 14 Divine, and I basically used it to speed rush a lot of upgrades for the build. So we got our Abyssus perfectly rolled. Well, the armor isn't perfectly rolled, but everything else is. Our Curse on Hit Ring. And then I basically have been swapping some pieces of gear around to improve resistances and stuff. Also got the Whispers of Doom to bring the ring online. And now I'm going to see if I can't get my flasks kind of situated. I forget the name of the prefix. I gotta build this in POV real quick. Flask utility, diamond flask. Yo, where's the diamond flask? Okay. And then what we want is gain charges when hit by enemy. Flagellance diamond flask is what we want. Flagellance diamond flask. I'm not gonna go for like the 3. Well, we can look at +3 and see what that is going to cost. That's going to be no, that's Flagellance, yeah, what we're looking at. Flagellance Diamond Flask. Okay, so depending on the mod on these, we're looking for critical strike chance during effects. Find critical strike chance during effects. Okay. Ooh, that's actually not too bad. That's only 50 something chaos. We're gonna pick that up. It would be nice if you shared your PoE trade windows so we can see how you search for different items. Oh yeah, Omega, sorry, I can do that for you guys. Give me a second here, I'll do this trade and then I'll swap the display over. Yeah, let me do that real quick for you guys. Let's see, we'll go here and we'll set this to my browser. There you go. So what I'm doing basically right here is I typed in the prefix, so Flagellance Diamond Flask. It showed me all the Flagellance Diamond Flasks. Those are the flasks that give you 3 charges when you're hit by an enemy. And then I did a search for critical strike chance during effect, and then I just sorted that by the highest possible, and I found one that was actually for 50 chaos, not a divine. So I just sniped that, and then we'll instill it so it autos. This is basically how I'm searching for flasks right now. Our roomies, we might buy a perfect roomies actually, if we're gonna do all this kind of stuff. We got our critical strike flask situated. Yeah, usually the best way is to search by the prefix and then do a control F and look for the actual suffix you want. Any tips on what to look for on mercs? I'm just using a random one. I would go for a merc that gives you determination, or if you're iron reflexes, you can also use one that has grace because that will scale your armor. And then you just want like what I'm doing on my mercenaries, I'm running 2 uniques. One is Calm's Binding, which converts nearby physical damage from enemies to fire damage taken, and I'm using Perkle's Toll, which makes my hits lucky. I'm running the Stampede and 2 silver flasks, complete chaos. Oh yeah, that you're all messed up there, Omega. You gotta fix that situation. Is the mod that you get charges when you crit not better on flasks? It's not, ma'am. It's 100% worse. You always want grants charges when you're hit. Because we're a Cyclone build on top of enemies, we're getting hit constantly. Our flasks are just going to be constantly topping themselves off, and then you just instill them when you put use when charges are full, and then our flasks are just going to be consistently running. It's going to be smooth, and also that it's really important when you're bossing, right? Because once again, gaining charges when we're hit by an enemy, we're going to get hit by bosses a lot. Our flasks are just going to pump up a lot quicker than the crit one. So now we need we have our armor flask. We're going to go for an amethyst flask, I think, to scale our chaos resistance. And I think we'll run freeze immunity on our chaos flask. Because we're getting hit so often, it'll only last for like 3 seconds or 4 seconds, but it should charge up pretty quickly. We're going to do Flagellance Amethyst Flask. Amethyst Flask. And then we're going to look for freeze immunity, basically. So we're looking for immunity to freeze and chill, if possible. And there it is. For 20 chaos. Gain 3 charges when you're hit by an enemy. Immunity. Oh, no, it's immunity to ignite. There is no. Let's search down. It's probably going to be more expensive. And let's try this again. Alright, here we go. There we go. Immunity to freeze and chill. 3.3 is kind of low. Is there a better one? Yeah, but they're probably going to start getting expensive. I guess we're going to have to go with the 3.3 for 50 chaos. We'll use some glass blowers baubles on it, and it will raise it up a little bit to like over 4 seconds, and that should be fine while we're mapping because it's going to refill constantly. I try to do my flasks as soon as possible. It's just quality of life. You want to make sure you have like decent flasks though when you do this. You don't want to instill like, crappy flasks. I wouldn't recommend that. Alright, so we've got the amethyst flask. So all we need now is we're going to go for a silver flask. So now we're going to search Flagellance silver flask, and I think we're going to do increased armor on this one. We're going to want increased armor on this flask. Flagellance silver flask. And we're looking for increased armor. Let's do armor. No dice. Let's go all the way down here. Increased armor is going to be really OP, so we are going to spend money on this if we have to. Okay. Now we're going to sort by the highest roll. So you're going to see it's 2 divine for a perfect one. For 55%, we spend 100 chaos, which is probably better. It's like 5% less, but we save a ton of money. So the way we're going to offset the helmet is, I'll show you in a map right now. Our PDR is going to be lower with the helmet, don't get me wrong, but because we have a mercenary, we do get some benefits here. So our mercenary gives us Calm's Binding. Nearby enemies convert 25% of their physical damage to fire. So we're going to get some PDR gain from the belt there. So we're basically taking 25% of all physical hits as fire now. And then he also gives us Determination. So even though we're taking more physical damage, right now I have 20,000 with his aura. And then when I pop my flasks, well, I don't have my, let me put my armor flask on. Right now when I pop my flasks, well, let me go out and back in because my silver flask doesn't have charges. So yeah, we have 20,000 armor right now, and then when we pop our flasks, we're up to 30,000 plus, and then we're also going to have endurance charges too on top of that. So yeah, Abyssus makes us weak. If you don't want to, you don't have to run Abyssus, but that's how we're kind of offsetting it. We're using the Mercenary with Determination Aura and the Calm's Binding, as well as our flasks and endurance charges. So it's not going to stop us from getting killed by a big hit, but we shouldn't really have any issues with just like regular hits and things like that. But like a big hit from like a boss or something, yeah, you're going to have to probably be a little bit mechanically inclined and not just sit there and take it. Hopefully that answers your question. You don't have to run Abyssus, you're just going to do less damage. So you can play, you know, you can use a rare helmet like I was doing, and you'll have way better PDR. You're just going to do significantly, and I mean significantly less damage. Millions less damage.
What have you got?
See, I want Chaos Orbs, I have a Divine. Alright, we're going to probably purchase that 55% one. Let's go do that real quick. And then we're just going to instill these. We're going to try to quality them up. And yeah, I think our flasks are situated at this point. Grants charges when hit, grants charges when hit, and this other one will be grants charges when hit. Grants charges when hit, 5%. Thank you. I think Slayer is definitely better than Champion. For Cyclone, for sure. Okay. Now we just have to instill these. So let's go do that real quick. Got our flask situated.
Ahoy there.
Alright, so we need, what's the craft? It's like 5 glass blowers, baubles. Use when charges. Wait, have I not discovered that yet? Use when charges. Hold on. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, 5 instilling orbs, 5 glass blowers, baubles. How many instilling orbs do I have? So we need 20. I need 5 of them.
Ahoy there.
And we need chaos. I don't need that many. Okay, I'm gonna league start this then. Cyclone looks really fun. Yeah, if you give me a couple minutes, Tetra, I'm gonna do a map after I get this whole setup going, and we'll see what it looks like in a T16. It should absolutely blast right now. I just need like 3 more minutes to get my flask fixed here. I just need 5. So that's like 7 chaos. That's close. 1 for 2, I'll be generous. Okay, and then we need 20 glass blowers baubles at least. We're going to need more because we're going to quality these things. What are those going for? We need 20 at least. I don't have any gold. Ooh, okay, that's fine. We'll just grab some gold for mapping, and then we'll grab what we need here. Let me put this in here. Okay, let's do a map and see what it feels like. Our flasks won't be automated yet, but That's fine. We'll get some gold, do like 2 maps or something, get our glass bowlers baubles, and then we'll automate these. And I think that's pretty much as good as this is getting until we do some significant upgrades here. Alright, let's pick a map out. Let's actually do one of these boss maps. Let's do like Forge of the Phoenix or something. Sure, we'll do this one right here. Maven Witness. We have our Desecrate for when I will do a Desecrate swap on this boss. May I ask when it's good to convert to critical strike? I'm following the POB 73 level currently, but don't know when to convert to crit. I would convert to crit as soon as you can get your hit chance capped as close to possible to 100, and you have like a decent weapon, like a 4 to 450 Fizz DPS weapon. I'd probably swap to crit then. Good old Animate Guardian.
One of my captors refused redemption. He did not see value in a new life. Now, new life.
I do love the stink of victory.
This is not a challenge, but I welcome it nonetheless.
Did you craft your weapon on stream? I kind of want to learn that process. I didn't actually do this on stream. I bought this base for 1 divine, and I just spammed deafening essences of contempt on it this morning until I hit like the really low hybrid fizz, and then I just bench crafted on the 105 increased fizz, and then I YOLO'd Exalt Orb and hit the attack speed.
A swift choice.
Strength Dex, Determination Dash. This guy is like basically what I had before. I think I prefer the other one, so we're just gonna take his stuff, I think.
Indecision. Weapons at the ready. This will hurt. Oh, very well. What was mine is now yours.
Approach, challenger.
This is the key to a crucible that stretches the sanity of the mind.
Oh yeah, sorry, Viv. Yeah, that's pretty beefy Guardian. I'm wondering if all the modifiers made him seem harder than he should have. I'm gonna do another one and see what it feels like with different mods. Trade. I love how this stuff looks. The Shaper and Elder influenced items. Oh, you like the hideout? Yeah. Definitely nice. Let's see, what do we got here? Skills can chain 2 times, endure charge on hit. Alright, this just makes the monsters scarier, because they're going to have increased damage and attack speed, but we'll do this one and see what this feels like.
One of my captors refused redemption.
Oh.
He did not see value in a new
Blood
life.
Rage swap.
Now, new life surrounds him.
Bah! Another pig without a Make your damn choice.
Punishment. Hey, what base are you going to use for crafting the crit staff? Ezamite, level 85 base is what I'm going to use. We'll just go ahead and...
Well, what's it going to be?
This guy's not even worth my time. Doesn't even have a good stash. Doesn't have any good abilities for what we need. Swap in Desecrates. Here we go. Yeah, I think the mods on the last one made him far tankier than he normally would be.
This is the key
Died a lot quicker this time.
that stretches the sanity of the mind.
A lot quicker that time. Plus he was being Maven witnessed on the other one, so he got all the buffs. Cool. Alright, feeling pretty good. Let's go ahead and farm up Chimera and Hydra. So maybe we can get a Shaper kill in here. Need a Minotaur map though. Against Avoid Impale kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Crit multi is kind of scary. Fizz damage is cold is very scary on this boss. Curse with Fallen and Temp Chains. Traditional projectiles. Yeah, she's probably gonna kill us, but we'll see. Do Chimera first. Nice thing about these boss frag farm maps are like they're pretty straight. You just follow the path and go where you're going. Are you talking about the channeling skills have mana reduction craft? Crazy? I actually got it sometime yesterday, and I don't remember what map I got it from, but I got it while I was working on my way to T16s. Because I had it on my benchcraft today, so I honestly don't remember what map I got it from, but it was from some map on my way to T16s.
Your flesh begs to be studied.
World of Scaring.
Choose to fight.
Your flesh begs to be studied. We'll take a stash.
This will be easier if you hold still.
Is it Cold River? Okay, that makes sense. I think I did a Cold River last night before I went to bed. It was like one of the two.
I suppose that means it's yours.
Thanks, Perry, for that.
With an ancient card. Cha-ching. Cha-ching.
It's going interesting. We did kind of go off of it because we're using Abyssus now with the boots. So we only have like 2 pieces that we could do spell suppression on. And I'm going to have to like spend money to do that because I opted in for this armor piece. It just has better stats overall. Find the unique staff on your PB when you're just switching off of it. When you have a rare staff that's better physical damage, TJ. Alright, let's see how this goes. We're going to have witness bosses here. We're going to have our Desecrate swap. Wait, pause? Thank you for the pause screen. I had Desecrate in. Okay. That pause screen is nice if you gotta make a quick adjustment like that. Alright, so there's all the mini bosses. That's unfortunate, we didn't really get any maps off of those two. Maybe off this one. I got a synthesized map.
Grip of the Infinite. Grip of the Infinite. Shadow, rise and fight.
I love the new pause. Can type useless shit like this here without dying. Yeah. The new pause is like such a quality of life feature. It's probably my favorite thing they added in this expansion.
The Empire lives on, and so do its most loyal.
Thanks, Win, for the sub. Tier 1, that's huge. Droid for the follow. Gabe for the sub. Thank you, thank you. AJ for the sub. The only thing that sucks about Chimera is like it's a phase boss. You have to just kind of like deal with these intermissions. Don't forget what you can gamble your war saves. Yep, that's true. I love the new. Yep. Any good early leveling uniques for starting this build today? Any good, like if you can get your hands on any good like 2-hand staff, Or not, I'm sorry, like two-hand axe. Like a limb split would be really good when you're leveling Sunder early on. The other cloud here.
This brings you to a crucible that stretches the sanity of the mind.
Stretches the sanity of the mind. Been on a break from Pee-wee's, I don't know when it was added, but I also love the hotkey. Oh yeah, the hotkey is so good. So good. GG. Dude, some of these mercs are rippy though. Yeah, you gotta work on your defenses to be able to take on the mercs. Can I completely drop the fortify wheel if I get the implicit on the chest? Yes, you can, Hames. I have dropped the fortify wheel
The
because I have it on my
awaits
chest.
you with open jaws.
Thanks, Shaky, for the follow. Much appreciated. We really just need a Minotaur map, and then we can go do Shaper.
One of my captives wore many faces.
Oh,
Yet kept her true face.
Blood Rage for mapping.
Now she cannot escape her true fate.
Soul Eater Beast. Spicy. This build, I mean, are there any other good uniques for mercs like the Calm's Belt? Calm's Belt is good. I'm also using a Percol's Toe. There's a few other ones that I'm going to test out, but those are the two I'm using right now. Yeah, Percol's Toe gives us that lucky hits. Strength and... What is with these mercenaries? They have terrible stashes. I haven't seen a good mercenary stash like all day. It's kind of sad. Fortify on hit? That's actually pretty OP. You don't fight them, they lose renown. The lower the renown, the shittier. Oh, that's... I didn't know that bird. Okay, so I need to just start fighting them. Got it. I will start doing that. Alright, she's really my least favorite of the Guardians, so we'll see how this goes. Desecrate, because she's going to have Lost Witness.
Time to up the stakes. Temporal tears. Struggle or strangle. Twin terrors. Of the infinite.
Alright, we just don't have a Minotaur. Yeah, we're using Warbanner. I saw it on the POV, but never seen you use it. Yeah, I have socket pressure right now, so I'd have to figure out where I'm gonna fit that in. Because I have to run precision against arrogance right now, so we can get hit cap. I have our cast when damage from Molten Shell. I'd have to figure it out. We might have to drop Leap Slam if we want to run Warbanner. which might be what we end up doing. Because we just don't have a socket to run it right now. I might actually try that out and see how that does for damage. And we just use Frostblink to get around. Because War Banner is a considerable amount of damage. For sure. And we lose the Leap Slam, but we do have Frostblink to get around, so... actually, we should use, like... Should be using Frostblink with Wintry Blast, I think, right? Because it has a better cooldown. Let's see. What ores we should be running? I'm currently using Flesh and Stone, Pride, Auto Exertion. What else do we run? Depends on what level you are. My POB does have other auras. I'm running Pride, Auto Exertion, Flesh and Stone, Blood and Sand, and Precision. Should all be in the POB. Yeah, I think I'm gonna grab a Frostblink of Wintry Blast if they're not too expensive. Okay, I must have messed them up. I'm still 75 in the pre-crit loadout of the POB. Yeah, I might only have a fewer auras slotted before you hit like the level 90 trees. It's possible.
I can't do this just yet.
Orb of Scouring.
Turn around. I won't make your choice. And be quick about it. Try me, fool! March for death! Should have walked away.
Cha-ching.
Oh, yeah, it is again. Sorry. I've got family cooking in the house right now, so I've been muting my mic so you don't hear like pots slamming and things like that. Blight is okay. You can do Blight really on any build. It just gets kind of boring because you set up the towers and then they do like all the work for you, essentially. Alright, so we're going to drop our war banner that we just got. Yeah, that's, war banner is definitely clutch. Clutch for sure. Alright, now that we got that, I think we're just going to go for scarabs on here. Peninsula. Peninsula. Let's go do Wildwood. Haven't done this yet. Oh god, the lag. The lag is real. I like the blue juice. Juice. Purple juice.
Orb of Scouring.
The bandits, I haven't swapped off Illyria yet, actually, and I probably won't for a minute because the plus 15 resistances are actually very useful right now. The more uniques we stack on the build, it is pretty useful. I'm gonna have to get some higher rolled resistance rare armor, I think, to be able to swap off. Oh my gosh, the lag. It's crazy. Frame drops. Alright. Maybe we'll get another crazy drop like we did earlier.
I am the judgment of it. The judgment is yours.
This guy's probably gonna slap with the Horus. Wildwood. Wildwood influence stuff. Okay, good.
The rest is yours.
And of course, lock number 2. Yeah, we'll see. We shall see. These bosses are going to be kind of hard because they're Wildwood influenced. So this could maybe not work out in our favor.
The Empire awaits you with open jaws.
Oh, we gotta kill the main boss before it'll kill the other one. Rip. Even with Wildwood influence, we didn't get anything good. Thanks, Aaron, for the follow. These Infinite Marks are busted. 4th Divine. Reward since league start. Damn. Yeah, I need to just keep challenging them. Their stuff, I guess.
That's a flask.
Managed to get some pretty much perfect roll Stampede into the swap. My amulet really sucks, so I was wondering if I could put Enigmatic on boots instead. You can put Enigmatic on boots, yeah, if you want to save. And then just when you get a better amulet, do the other one. Hey Snavi, I just managed to get some pretty much perfect rolled. Oh, yeah, you hit me up on both. Yeah, I would say put it on an item you're probably not going to replace this soon. Alright, I'm going to grab a drink and a quick snack, guys. I'll be back in like 5 minutes. I think I'm actually just gonna try to buy the things I need to just rush Uber Elder and Maven, I think. At least Uber Elder so I can have 3 Void Stones going. What should I look out for on a staff? Like, what is minimum DPS to be looking to do T16? I started doing T16s when I had like a 550 physical DPS staff. This is probably like a 650 physical DPS staff. I'd like to have something better than this, but yeah, I had a worse staff than this one. And I was doing, I actually was using this staff. No. Where is it? Yeah, no, it was this staff. I was using this staff when I got into T16s. King's March, and I was hoping to ship gear. Rip Burner. I'm sorry to hear that. It's unfortunate. Yeah, let's see if I can grab a Minotaur map on trade. And we can go do Shaper. We actually need to do Shaper at least twice, so we're going to grab 2 Minotaur maps.
The Empire awaits you with open jaws.
Thanks, M1, for the follow. ABD, it took like, I don't know, 6, maybe 7 essences.
With open jaws.
Thanks, X, for the follow. They seem way overpriced right now on the trade site. Is it cheaper to craft it? I crafted all my staffs, X. I crafted my staffs. I did buy the base for this one. So this 6 socket, or this 6 link level 85 base was 1 divine. I bought this and then I crafted on it. Yeah, for this one I just spammed some essences and then I crafted on the physical damage there. What's up, Day? Loving the build. Just about to go create. Any tips on accuracy? Just try to be as much as hit cap as possible. You only need an 83 base, Ashley, but this was the only one I saw at the time that was 6 linked. That was like high enough that I wanted to craft on. Buy my first 6 link. Should I prioritize 4 red, 2 green for Cyclone or 6 red? I suggest running your General's Cry setup in your staff and your Cyclone in your chest, because your staff is going to be a strength int base and it's going to be harder to hit greens on it. So as long as you're keeping them relatively equal, like both 5 links or 1 6 link 5 link, like it doesn't really matter. It's just damage upgrade. But I think it's more important keeping the right links in the right gear, because it's just going to be harder for you to color. Yeah, 83 is all you need. I just was like looking on trade, and the first thing I saw that was cheap enough was this, so I bought it. I was filtering basically 83 or higher. Alright.
One of my captors felt
I bought this for 2 divine. I don't really have a better way to give tips for this. I just searched for on trade for a chest that had high life, and I wanted high armor and evasion, or high armor, one of the two. And I found this, and it was the best decent thing I saw that was cheap, so I bought it for 2 divine. I would just say prioritize life and armor. Resistances too.
Practice makes perfect.
Grimdia. Oof. Yeah, these guys are tough. Yikes. Guy spanked me hard. Yeah, it's probably a combination of that plus also less resistance. We're like borderline resistance right now, so like we're actually undercapped on our resistances at the moment. LE weakness is for any kind of resistance lowering with my resistances right now is pretty rough, because I'm like sitting right around 75 to 80 on everything.
It's just a useless piece of shit. Where's Jojo?
I didn't end up making an SSF filter only because I'm not playing SSF, so I just kept my trade one basically and updated it for the new expansion in League. I crafted my staff with deafening essences, hit T1 attack speed, 1 T1 crit multi, and T2 crit chance. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty good, Ashley, right? That's pretty good. I think you won the lottery on that one. I would call it a day on that. This might be rough because they do damage as cold, and I have really low cold resistance right now, so may not be the best thing in the world.
This is the key to a crucible that stretches the
Sanity of the mind. Are Stampede boots worth it as an early investment? I dropped 3 divine so far, and I'm barely into maps. I mean, I recommend that you go for Stampede first so you can get Cyclone Atonement online. But you always, always, always want to be upgrading your staff. My staff, I need to fix that. I need a better staff. You'll sort it out at some point? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I actually need a better staff. This is fine for T16s and stuff, but I would like, at this point, my next major upgrade, having done everything we just did, is getting a much better staff, for sure. Get in a hole. Yeah, so that's... Getting like a 750 to 800 Fizz DPS staff is pretty much what I want to work on next. So I'll probably spend my next Divine on getting another 6-link base, and we'll craft on that. Like, I'll buy another 6-link base, and I'll probably start doing some serious crafting on that to see what we can do. Can I link my staff to you in game? I got it really luckily at level 50. Yeah, this is my character name. Facebreaker is getting popular again. Saw a similar build, but on Facebreakers. Yeah, Facebreaker got that buff, right? 1000% on a roll. Pretty good.
One of my captors felt no emotion. He did not hesitate to inflict pain. But now, all he feels is intense, unstoppable agony.
Intense, unstoppable agony. What's up, Crixix? You want me to tell you if it's okay to go into maps with? Let's see. Oh yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's a really good staff to go into maps with. That'll carry you well into red maps. Ooh, crit resistant and life regen. Let's pop banner. That was worth a popping of the banner there, for sure. Only 500 DPS, but wasn't sure if I needed to upgrade it. That should be fine for doing yellows and some early reds. You'll probably want a better staff when you get into like higher red tier maps, but it'll carry you all the way through yellows and like, you know, early T reds.
Clock's ticking. I don't miss. Lining up the shots. Ugh, don't need telling twice. I'm out of here.
This is the key to a crucible that
Stretches the sanity of the mind. Alright, we got enough frags to do one shaper, I guess. We'll go do that.
How's the trail?
Oh, we got the formed.
Stay
Oh.
vigilant.
So we can go do the formed after this. Been following your POB, trying to figure out where you get your fortification from. It depends on what stage of the build. We get it different ways. I don't know which one you're talking about.
Leave you with two. Turn back, trespasser. Cease this battle.
Oh, this way. Yeah, this boss will be annoying because he's just gonna sit here and phase, basically. Check the chest in that, or the level 90 crit conversion. Look at the cluster jewel, and you'll see where you're getting it from. Did it make him just unkillable? Yeah. Oh no. First stage is the fortification node's gone. Yep. Yeah, level 90 crit conversion, you get the fortification from Overlord on Cluster Jewel.
Go unpunished.
Which Atlas strategy is good? I'm just rushing bosses right now, Ice Claw, to get my the boss maps flipped pretty well, but I'm just trying to get 2 Void Stones. I don't know what I'm gonna do for my 3rd Atlas tree for money. I haven't really thought about it yet. After I get my 2 Void Stones, I was gonna think about that today and see what like farm strategy I want to do.
Your final warning. Leave. You force my hand again, little mouse.
Oh, I did Maven Witness on this. This is gonna suck. I shouldn't have done Maven Witness. Oh, dude, this is gonna suck. Maven makes this like annoying because he's gonna have clones and shit. Yeah, he's just gonna be harder now for no practical reason. Yeah, see, she's got like his clone going off and stuff. It's fucking annoying. We want to bait this way. Well, we're doing this harder than you need to, guys, so there's that at least. Do not Maven Witness your Shaper kills, unless you want to, and you're working on the beard. I'm going to be going Storm Shroud soon, Ashley. My next monies are going to be going towards Storm Shroud. Basically, at this point, I'm going to be working on getting a better weapon and working on Storm Shroud for the Elemental Ailment immunity. Those are my 2 things now I'm concerned about. But picking up like a nice Stygian Vice with the 2 duels. for sure.
Behold the face of your
Father, it's me. Let me help you.
Lucked into a triple notable cluster, but it doesn't have Overlord. Rip. Sorry to hear that, Garmer. That is unfortunate.
None resist my entropy.
Come to me.
Twin terrors.
Oh, yeah.
weakling.
This is why Maven sucks, dude. She's gonna beam you while you're in the thing. I always forget to make sure that Maven's turned off when I do these bosses.
None resist my entropy. Mortal flesh is so fallible. Twin terrors.
Now she's got double shaper. Super annoying because he's gonna just shoot balls and beam me while I'm in here.
I can't do this just yet.
This is super annoying. I'm gonna die. Yep.
Ambivalence.
Why did I Maven witness it? Why did I Maven witness it? It depends, in terms of like when I roll my next build. So, oh, we don't lose XP during boss fights anymore. Oh, that's actually really nice. So I actually don't get penalized as much for being an idiot and having Maven witness this. What's your goal with the next build character? At what point do you normally roll? Typically when I get bored, like I'm gonna push this guy as far as I can. I want to. My goal for this character is to clear T17s and do Uber Pinnacle bosses. And then once I do that, I'm gonna probably play another character. I have an idea for another character I want to play. It'd be very different than Cyclone Melee. I just have to POB it out. And now that they've actually updated POB, I should be able to do that. So, yeah, dude, I'm actually not getting the idiot penalty tax right now, right, for running Maven on this. But this will be good because we have to do a second shaper for our other frag, and people will get to see what like shaper is without Maven. Cold River, I believe.
You will fall. These memories are mine. I
This last
cannot
phase is gonna suck.
They lie to you.
Mortal flesh is so fallible.
We may not be able to complete this.
save the future.
We'll see.
The past must be sacrificed.
Feel your life burn away.
We do have Cole, so we'll see how this goes.
We need to put
Basically, when she does Twin Terrors is when this is going to get really crappy.
Shadow, rise and fight.
stay close.
None resist my entropy. Life is so brittle.
Failure.
I've seen lamps
Ambivalence.
stronger than
Terrible. Terrible bossing. I just want to show off Maven. Yeah, how much it sucks. Yeah. If you're like a better player than me, then this is like nothing. You know, it's like, oh, okay. This is nothing. Alright.
irrelevant.
That was more difficult than it needed to be, but we got one of the feared, I guess, out of the way. Alright, so we need a, what, Hydra and Chimera? So we'll go buy those maps real quick. You buy the staff? I bought the base for the staff and then I crafted it. Right now I'm doing the boss Atlas tree. Basically the boss tree I had in there. So I was farming boss maps, but now I'm just kind of buying stuff so I can speed this process along. Actually, you know what we could do?
Long day.
The formed. Sure, we'll do that one, I guess. See how this goes. Did we get Hydra first? Yikes. Still think Minotaur might be the scarier of the two. Yeah. We didn't actually kill Minotaur. No, my screen is just like freeze frames with the graphics this league have been actually kind of nutty. Oh yeah, we're going for scarabs. That's what we're doing.
How long will I be kept waiting?
Thought it was the only one. Your screen is mush with the bitrate at the moment. Yeah, there's something going on with my graphics and the like freeze frames and stuff going on. It's pretty crazy. What quality do you guys have it set to? Yeah, it looks pretty bad. I'm looking at Twitch right now myself, just moving around in the game. Yeah, I don't know, there's no packet drop rate or anything on my end, so as long as I don't move, yeah, I don't know what's causing it. Maybe log out of the game. POB or Awaken POA trade. Yeah, I mean that wouldn't describe the issues you guys getting with the encoding on your end. Wonder how it looks on YouTube. Checking out YouTube right now.
The Empire awaits you with open jaws.
When did it start getting weird with the mushiness? Let me try something. I'm gonna try relaunching the game with different DirectX maybe. At least since yesterday. Let me try Path of Exile. I mostly listen to you. I mean, that's a minion build. That's why I've been drawn to the Cyclone thing over the last year, because minions are fun, but like you do nothing as the character, and if anything happens to them, yeah, you're in the situation you're describing. Yeah, let me see if I change DirectX, if that's a better result on what's going on here. The problem is when I go to DirectX 12, it doesn't show up. It might be Monkey, but other people are streaming PoE and not having that issue, so it's something probably on my end. I could try DirectX 12, but when I go to DirectX 12, the video feed doesn't come in on my Streamlabs thing. So it's a little weird. You have to call the Indian call center to get the premium Streamlabs. Yeah, that's funny. Ah, dude. Yeah, because if I transition over, you guys aren't going to see anything right now. But if I go DirectX 12, maybe Vulcan? See if Vulcan plays nice. See how this plays. There might be some sluggishness here because my shaders might be recapturing. Ooh, yeah, I can see the... Yeah, it looks really bad. Let me, get my settings in Streamlabs. Oh, you know what? I think I might know why. I'd have to, restart the stream, I think, to fix this. Because I have to change the, encoder. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna restart the stream. Be back in like half a minute. I think if I tweak this setting here and then rebroadcast, it'll encode it at the highest quality, so we won't get the mushiness. I think I changed it to a lower setting yesterday because they did a patch and they forced everybody to DirectX 12, and I can't get that to work for some reason, like I was just demonstrating. So I thought maybe if I played around with the encoding settings, I think I actually lessened the quality, which would explain why it's mushy since yesterday. So let me go ahead and do that, and we'll be back in like half a minute. Alright guys, let's put a message in here in case anyone. Restarting stream. Hopefully improving quality. You're back in seconds.